All right, and we are back. We want to move on to the next segment, and that is in the headlines. Just now the papers seeing what has been updated so far. I have a copy of the Daily Nation. Let me just start you off with the front page. Very busy, very busy today. The main read: Uhuru set to endorse Raila at party NDC. Uhuru set to endorse Raila at party NDC. They go on to say it's time for politicking. No, time for politicking is here, and you will hear from us. Now, President Kenyatta yesterday did warn those that are opposed to the Azimio movement, which has Odinga as the flag bearer, to prepare for a tough battle in the coming days, as he will personally take the lead in regards to this particular charge that they are on. And critics have gone on to say that it's game on. The president has been blowing hot and cold when it comes to his stand and also his role when it comes to the succession politics here in Kenya. But they now say he has folded his sleeves and it is about to play. Game on. All right, so away from that, we come to the other story here, still politics. Jubilee won't let us leave, cries UDA. These are some of the MPs and members that are allied to the Deputy President William Ruto, who say they want to officially deregister from the ruling coalition, but some of them have actually did go through the process only to find out that they have been re-registered again under the Jubilee Party, and they are now reaching out to the registrar of political parties to just make sure that they have a smooth transition when it comes to their resignation and registering with the UDA party, because it is clear that somebody somewhere is making it hard for them. Then the other story is in regards to the Universal Health Coverage Plan. Hope and fears as the launch did happen yesterday, but now the question is it a new era for patients? But what will the cost be? What will the cost be for this new era when it comes to patients and receiving medical care within the country? Will it really be affordable for a majority of the Kenyans and accessible for that matter? The other story, the final one in regards to health. This is in regards to the steps that we are making towards getting a vaccine for HIV. So for decades now, research has been ongoing, and scientists have been taking up new perspectives and new approaches when it comes to the treatment and how they approach HIV. And there seems to be more hope right now, and especially in this time that we are in this pandemic, because some of the techniques that they used to come up with the COVID-19 vaccine are seemingly also going to be replicated when it comes to finding a vaccine for HIV and AIDS. So they have definitely made a few steps towards coming up with a vaccine for HIV. That is the front page of the Daily Nation for you this morning. Victor.
Yeah, still on politics, Uhuru to DP, that's on the front page of the Star newspaper. Uhuru to DP, I'm no pushover as he defends term. Uhuru to DP, I'm no pushover as he defends term. Kenyatta says that you cannot build the nation by endless politicking on top of campaign vans. That was directly meant to have his deputy president put on check. The president tells critics Jubilee is alive, lists achievement. We'll be discussing that one later on in the People and Politics, on People and Politics here. And Azimio appoints Waikenda as head of protocol for 2022 race. Raila's campaign team is in talks with public relations guru, that is Janadine Karaoke, to manage communications. Remember, it's just a week or so where the DP side also picked journalist Hussein Mohammed to run that communications department, and now we also have this on the Azimio side where they are in talks with Janadine. Raila's ODM to conduct digital party primaries. They say that this is meant to curb electoral fraud and ensure credibility. Party Elections Board Chairperson Catherine Muma said that aspirants seeking party tickets for various positions and seats will apply online and pay through a pay bill number. Let's wait and see how that will shape. Suspected serial sex killer Wanjala to remain in remand. He was accused of allegedly lured 3 teenagers, defiled and strangled them to death. Justice Eric Ogala on February 3rd declined to grant Wanjala bail, saying that the accused is likely to interfere with the witnesses and compromise the case. He's also said that the life of the accused persons may be in danger. Therefore, pre-trial detention is necessary to protect him. Further, he's a flight risk, the court said. All right, that is according to the Star there. Next story, Ruto team's push to abolish CBC will mess up 8 million kids. That's according to experts. They have been pushing for the abolishment of the CBC program. And now the experts have warned that a push by Deputy President William Ruto and his camp to scrap the competency-based curriculum will see more than 200 billion shillings down the drain. Further, the education future of more than 8 million CBC learners would be thrown into disarray should the proposal by Ruto's team to abolish the new curriculum succeed, should they be elected. I don't know where this started from and how the issue of politics and CBC is connected. But if you ask me, they are touching on the hearts of millions of parents and guardians. And we have got over 8 million kids who are going through the CBC. I don't know what experts will say about this, and the government is still hell-bent that CBC is here to stay. And finally, I'm no pushover. Uhuru wants Ruto. The president said that he has been at work all through, even as others politic around the clock. He was speaking yesterday in Mombasa, remember? Uhuru gave signals that he would openly back ODM leader Raila Odinga in the August 9th election, saying that his Jubilee party will team up with other outfits to form a government of respect. Uhuru said that he and his party have been at work all through as others politic around the clock, adding that he will now hit the road because it is now time to do politics. Okay, that is something that we're going to discuss. Let me not just give you just a sneak peek of what we'll be talking about later on in the program. Doreen.
All right, so today marks the last day for those that have declared their bid to vie in this year's general election. This goes by that particular circular that was issued last month by the head of public service, that is Joseph Kinyua, whereby those vying for elective positions had up until today, that is inclusive of CS, some principal secretaries, and chief administrative secretaries. Now, this poses a challenge to the president because then he has to look for ways in which he will fill up these positions that are set to be vacated. When we get to the details, I'll be telling you some of the ways in which the state is planning to employ so as to fill up these particular positions for the remaining 6 months up until we get to the general elections. And away from that, going to that Iebc voter registration, which ended on Sunday. So Iebc released the report of how that particular process fared on and the number of voters they were able to register, especially in this second phase. Remember, their target was 4.5 million Kenyans, but they only were able to register about around 1 million and so Kenyans. So this is way below the target in which they had anticipated to reach. And also it just goes on to say that candidates for various seats in the August 9th general elections could be forced to go back to the drawing board if at all they are banking on the youth vote, because also in the report that they released, it shows that much as they were targeting to really get high numbers from the youths, that didn't quite happen because they were able to register very few number of youths, and it's because of various reasons. Key among them, the youths do not believe in the leaders that have already declared their bids in various elective positions, because they feel, according to this particular article or report, is that these leaders will not do anything for them. And again, also remember that when we have most of these candidates, one of the most important things they keep mentioning all the time is how they're going to create jobs for most of these youth, but it just happens that a good number of them do not believe. And also in this same article, it has well highlighted, obviously, the counties with the highest number of registered voters. Again, Nairobi taking the bigger chunk, and Marsabit registering low voters with just about 6,000 voters there. And again, with the issue of drought and food security here in the country, at least early, when the year began, the state had given various reasons in which they are planning to at least mitigate the issue of drought with the short, mid and long term. And part of what was inclusive in the short term was the cash money transfer, which they had begun disbursing, especially to various counties which had been hardly hit by the issue of drought. But now they are embarking to one of those long-term interventions. And part of what was mentioned by the government spokesperson, that is Cyrus Oguna, he said that he's calling upon everyone and also a good number of Kenyans to see how best they can be doing water tracking, and this is just especially in times of rain, see how best they can be able to conserve water. And aside from that, there are also various other ways in which the state has employed, and this is in terms of that long-term intervention to ensure that they mitigate the issue and the cases of drought in the country. We also have that particular article of what Kenya Kwanza Coalition is saying when it comes to CBC, and Victor asked there what is the relationship between politics and education. But what Kenya Kwanza Coalition is saying is that the CBC, or the competency-based curriculum, in a way in which it was rolled out, they did not do enough consultations, and it was implemented in an haphazardly way, ignoring the interest of parents and learners and other education stakeholders. And this is why they are saying, if at all they get elected come August 9th, this will be part of their agenda to do away with this CBC, given the fact that it is not in consideration of children as well as parents. Also citing the fact that it is very expensive, given at a time when parents as really is trying and struggling to make ends meet. And again, they still have to, in addition to that, still have to add on when it comes to ensuring that at least their children get to learn through this new form of CBC. But even if that is happening, the education CS, that is George Magoha, says that as it stands, 572 CBC classrooms are already complete. Remember, again, when the year began, they were rolling out the first phase and the second phase. And what he said is that by the time the next term begins in April, they need to have at least completed the first phase, and this is of the classrooms. And he's saying that it's going on well, and also what the government intends to do is to deliver at least 11,000 new classrooms by the end of the year. And obviously he went ahead to just say that the naysayers, those that are against the CBC, should come out and give concrete reasons, because as it stands, the ministry is really out on ensuring that they roll out this new curriculum, saying that it is the best. And actually this was to be done far long than when it began. But he's saying that so far so good as far as the new classrooms are being rolled out, and ensuring that also that the first phase is going to be complete before the next term begins. And lastly, county launches Anti-Fgm campaign. This was part of the state's agenda as well, that by the time we get to this year, this will be a practice of should be something that it's no longer being practiced anymore. And there were plans to ensure that they eradicate FGM. So what is currently happening in Kisii County is that they have gone ahead to get services of various stakeholders in the county government, CBOs, that is the community-based organizations, Maendeleo ya Wanawake, and County Anti-Fgm. All this to try and see how best they can eradicate this particular practice, especially in Kisii County. So that is what is happening there when it comes to that campaign of anti-FGM in particularly Kisii County. Regina.
I have a copy of the Standard this morning, and this is what we have on the front page. Matters of politics, what transpired yesterday there in Mombasa, where the president launched the UHC there. He also took a swipe at his deputy president this, and hinted at supporting Raila, actually having Jubilee back Raila. Now, President quoted here, or rather the kicker says, tornado loading, quite a cheeky connotation there this morning. We had earthquake, now we're talking about tornadoes. Okay. President takes a veiled broadside at a deputy, says they are leaders who will only campaign on top of cars without working. He says he will work with the likes of Joho, a close Raila ally. Move comes as a ruling party hints at working with 10 Azimio allies to endorse Raila. We know that we're going to be having an NDC meeting this week. So we will be keenly focusing on the outcome of that. That's the front page. That's the main read on this particular daily this morning. Then also, the Iebc has come out to give statistics on, how it performed in the mass voter registration. So phase 1, the Iebc did not meet its 1 million target, and so now the commission has directed that registration officers in the 290 constituencies to undertake a continuous voter registration by deploying 3 BVR kits per constituency. Now, these kits will be stationed at the Huduma centers countrywide, and according to Iebc, this will be an opportunity for eligible citizens, especially those who will have acquired identity cards after the closure of the voter registration, mass voter registration exercise phase 1 and phase 2. So you still have an opportunity to register, but now it has to be within your constituency at the Huduma centers. This is after Iebc nets only 1 million voters in the second drive. According to the statistics, it shows that this was quite a dismal performance, missing its target by far. In the first phase, Iebc had targeted to net 6 million new voters. The second phase, 4.5 million voters. Now, it fell short of making the registration process lower than that of the 2010 referendum, the 2013 and the 2017 elections. That's a quick update from Iebc there. So also on the front page, we have matters of, those civil servants who have ditched their roles, or rather are resigning. The deadline is end of day today. And one of them is Nzioka Waiter, who has thrown his hat into the ring and his quest to become the next Machakos governor. So he says come 10th of February, he will no longer worry about the president's diary. We'll be keeping tabs on that, as our very own Boni Musambi also is going to be, he's already cast his hat there in matters politics, so we'll be keeping tabs. We've also seen a couple of celebrities, even one of our former presenters here, Njambi Kwekai, is also going to be running for elective office. So indeed, 2022, there are quite a number of players, some that you know, some that you don't, but at the end of the day, what are they bringing there at the table, and what has been their previous track record? Matters of glorious Senegal there has also captured the eye of the scribe this morning on this particular daily, getting there to the front page. The Teranga Lions, 8th time trying it out, all the way from 2017 under the same coach. That is none other than Cisse there. So there's so much about this statistics, including the players and the various awards in the just concluded AFCON 2021. That's just about a sneak peek of what we have on our dailies this morning, including matters of the disarmament exercise that is taking place in Baringo, as well as call by the Muslim faithfuls to stop abductions and killings Muslim leaders demand. That and so much more is still available on our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. I'm Regina Manyara. I wish you a pleasant viewing ahead.
All right, before we close there, let's still continue with the what's on the papers here. ODM to conduct primaries digitally. Aspirants seeking tickets for various seats will apply online and pay through a pay bill number. They say that Party Elections Board Chairperson Catherine Muma said aspirants seeking party tickets for various seats will apply online and pay through a pay bill number. She said that the party has engaged the Communication Authority on the distribution of internet connectivity, and all the pay bill numbers will be given to the aspirants. All right, businessman wanted in Rwanda, freed on bond by Kenyan court. Ndungu, also an American citizen, was convicted of bank fraud 10 years ago. Nathan Lloyd Ndungu, who is also an American citizen, has been in custody for more than a week. He was arrested as he jetted back into the country from the U.S. and, according to court documents, Rwanda issued a red alert against him 10 years ago in February 2012 after he was tried, convicted and sentenced in absentia. And finally, on sports, we are inviting everyone and everybody to come and witness a tough race ahead. That is according to minor adjustments to Agnes Tirop cross-country course. That's according to the organizers there. That will be taking place in Lobo Village in Eldoret. Tennis Kenya to host Centenary Feat next month. That is, Tennis Kenya is planning to honor their legends during the centenary celebrations starting next month. And of course, they say that Francis Mutuku, who is the TK vice chairperson, said that the celebrations will run from March 1st until the end of the year. That's an amazing thing. And finally, Lions come home alive. That is, Mane described Senegal's victory as the best day and trophy of his life. In fact, there is a photo of Mane posing with that trophy in bed. Actually, he held that trophy like a baby. You see, there's a way you can hold a baby on your chest somehow. That is how Mane, he was sleeping with that trophy.